Welcome to my video. Today I will answer the question given by my lecturer.
Case study 26 states obligation to provide emergency medical care. Mr. HS fell off a train at about 7:45 p.m. on July 8th. As a result, he remains serious head injuries and brain hemorrhage. He was taken to the local primary health center. Since the necessary facilities for treatment were not available at the primary health center, the medical officer in charge of the center referred him to the nearest hospital for better treatment. HS was taken to the hospital at about 11:45 p.m. on July 8th. The emergency medical officer in said hospital, after examining him and taking 2 x-rays of his skull, recommended immediate admission for further treatment. Nevertheless, HS could not be admitted to the hospital, as no vacant bed was available in the surgical emergency ward, and the ward surgery ward was also full. He was thereafter taken to another hospital at about 12:20 a.m. on July 9th, but he was not admitted there, on the grounds that no vacant bed was available. He was then taken to another hospital at about 1 a.m. on July 9th. He was not admitted to the hospital on the grounds that the hospital has no ENT emergency or neuro-emergency department. At about 2 a.m. on July 9th, he was taken to another hospital, but was not admitted there because no bed was available. At about 8 a.m. on July 9th, he was taken to an Institute of Neurology. Upon examining the CT scan, performed at a private hospital after payment, the doctors discovered a hemorrhage in the frontal region of the head and determined this was an emergency case that could not be handled at said institute. At about 10 a.m. on July 9th, the patient was taken to yet another hospital, but was also not admitted there on the grounds that the hospital has no neurosurgical facilities. Ultimately, he was admitted to a private hospital, where he was treated as an inpatient from July 9th through July 22nd p. Was it correct for the above intent hospitals to refuse to provide medical treatment to HS and to transfer him to another hospital? Here are a few, but not all, possible answers. Discuss them, as well as other possible answers. Identify ethical issues and decide which answer applies to you most, giving your reasons. Yes, most of the aforementioned hospitals administered first aid to HS, but could not provide him appropriate treatment due to their lack of facilities and medical services to handle complicated situations such as, in this case, it was better to transfer HS to an institute that could handle such conditions. No, depriving a person of medical treatment in an emergency case is actually depriving that person of his right to live and his right to live with dignity. Notes about the case study court decision. This case came before the Supreme Court of the country, during which the state government appointed an inquiry committee to investigate this chain of events. The committee has suggested remedial measures to rule out recurrence of such incidents in the future and to ensure immediate medical attention and treatment to patients in real need. The court reasoned that the Constitution envisages the establishment of a welfare state at the federal level as well as at the state level facilities. The Constitution imposes an obligation on the state to safeguard the right to life of every person. Preservation of human life is thus of paramount importance. The government hospitals run by the state and the medical officers employed therein are duty-bound to extend medical assistance for preserving human life. Failure on the part of a government hospital to provide timely medical treatment to a person in need of such treatment results in violation of his right to life, guaranteed under the Constitution. In the present case, HS's said right, guaranteed under the Constitution, was breached when he was denied treatment at various government hospitals, even though his condition was very serious at that time when he was in need of immediate medical attention. Indeed, it is true that financial resources are needed for providing these facilities. But at the same time, it cannot be ignored that it is the constitutional obligation of the state to provide adequate medical services to the people. Whatever is necessary for this purpose has to be done. In the context of the constitutional obligation to provide free legal aid to a poor person, this court has held that the state cannot avoid its constitutional obligation in the regard on account of financial constraints. Discussion. A state's obligation to provide emergency medical care. A state which strives to give its citizens quality health services and to property, and therefore, the state cannot tax rich people in order to provide health services to all. Another position is that the right to healthcare is a basic right that enables one to acquire many other rights, and therefore, it is ethical to take money from people who have it and provide quality health services to all. Another question relates to situations in which the state provides limited quality of health services, while private organizations provide better health services. In some countries, all residents are entitled to the same.
The question is, was it correct for the above mentioned hospital to refuse to provide medical treatment to HS? and to transfer him to another hospital? My answer is yes, because most of the aforementioned hospital administered first aid to HS, but could not provide him appropriate treatment due to their lack of facilities and medical service to handle complicated situations such as in this case. It was better to transfer HS to an institute that could handle such condition. Thank you.